Hey y'all, it's Janet Leaves and welcome back to my channel. I have a lot of plants to repot, so I figured I would just go ahead and bring y'all on the journey with me as I go ahead and repot some of these plants. I actually had double, maybe even more than the amount of plants that I'm repotting today to repot previously. And I was attempting to film a repotting chat video before and things went left, but luckily my plant collection is large, so there's always stuff to repot. So today I'm gonna be repotting about 7 different Anthurium. And I did ask like a week ago, I asked people to give me some topics because during repotting chat videos, it just be a little awkward. Like, what? I need a topic. I am a yapper at heart. I talk. So I just needed a little something to give me guidance to go ahead and talk about it. Okay, so before we go ahead and jump into the repot and the questions, I just wanted to show y'all the plants that I'm planning to repot. So first up is my Anthurium Rad Lux. I think this leaf has hardened off enough for me to repot it. Also, I feel like since it has started growing, it's really doing its big one, so it's really trying to do something all the time. And because it also pushed an offset, which is this leaf right here, and I can see that it's getting ready to start working on something else, I want to make sure that I up pot it before it is too late, because I don't really know, like, for real why we shouldn't up pot when there's a new leaf. But look, all the pros are saying don't do it, and I'm just gonna believe them, you know, until I have the energy to try it out. Next up, I have one that this leaf is not fully hardened off, but it's basically there. Like, it's not super, yeah, you see, like it's not quite as sturdy as this one, but it's not super soft. It's not gonna expand much more, but this is my crystallinum. And if you look at the roots, this one is definitely ready to get into a bigger pot. Also, in order for it to stay moist, I would rather it be a pot that's a little bit bigger and holds a little bit more moisture. I found that that really has worked for my forgetti hybrid, so that's the goal there. I also have my, oh, all right, well, we might as well do this one. That wasn't what I was gonna pick up. This is a silver blush. So this one here is a more recent acquisition, and I have done it dirty. It is so dry. It's very much so soft. I barely ever feel soft Anthurium leaves, but I think that one, it needs to get out of this cocoa mix, because no, and then into a straight tree fern mix, and it'll be all right. As well, I have my Anthurium no ID here that I also want to up pot. When I initially got it, it came with like 2 leaves. So I think I had this leaf and then maybe this leaf here, yes. And then I've grown this one and now this one, and you can see it's still a little bit light green, but it's much harder. So I'm going to up pot it as well. And then I'm learning something, or I'm testing something. I don't know if I learned it yet, but I'm planning to incorporate CalMag into my watering routine for all of my Anthurium moving forward. So I'm going to have this is kind of annoying, but I already have 2 of those 5 gallons up here. So basically I'm gonna have 1 gallon that has CalMag water and all that good stuff for the Anthurium, where I'll have like the CalMag and the fertilizer, because I also think I want to slightly increase the fertilizer that I give to, just ever so slightly increase the fertilizer for my Anthurium. And then my other 5 gallon will just be for the rest of my plants, because the rest of my plants don't show the same like traits or characteristics as my Anthurium, so obviously I can't treat them the same, and that just is what it is. But I'm enjoying myself. And then the final 2, so I do have, yeah girl, I do have a King of Spades here that I'm gonna repot. I probably should get y'all up on it. My hand is shaking, but it's caffeine, and I'm gonna continue drinking the caffeine, so yeah. Anyway, this is an Anthurium King of Spades, and I want to up pot it. And then, you know, y'all know I got the forgetti hybrid that, you know, y'all told me is not a forgetti. So I said, let me get a forgetti. I got this one in the mail, and honestly, it came like this. This is a part of the birthday celebration extravaganza. And then I guess before we jump into it too, I've been yapping for mad long and plants have not gotten repotted. Oh my God. But if y'all have any other like topics, questions, etc., or like, I guess more like milestone-y questions, because I think for the birthday repot, I do want to like reflect a little bit on how far I've come. You know, your girl is gonna be 28 in like 2 days from now. That's crazy. I want to reflect, and then also like just talk about plans for the future, etc. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all want to hear about in the next one. And with that being said, let's go ahead and bring it down. We also got to mix substrate. We got a lot to do. We got a long one ahead of ourselves at this point. Okay, y'all, so I just unfortunately had to scrap an entire section because I did the same thing that I did with this other video where I have my T10 standing grow lights right there, and I truly forgot how close it was, so the light was like all up in the anyway. That said, I have 2 bins because I'm working smarter, not harder this time around. I'm probably gonna have to back up a little bit, and I apologize for the sound for the next few months. I'm gonna eventually get one of those mics. Bear with me for the next couple videos. Hopefully by December time, I have figured out one and I'm going with that. Just so for the next few weeks, it'll just be like this for now. But we gonna get better. We're gonna get better. All that said, I have 2 bins. I also think I forgot to show y'all that I'm gonna be doing my crystal pap as well. She is looking really good. I'm very far away from the camera right now, so apologies on that front. But yeah, this is her newest leaf. This is the leaf that I showed most recently in my video, and I was like, oh, I think I need to increase the cal mag, and I did, so I think it's looking a little bit better. These are the older leaves. They're looking a little bit worse for wear, but I think that's normal. I don't feel any type of way about it. There are no pests. Everything is going well, and it's ready to be put into a larger pot. So yeah, all that said, I have 2 bins because I have a few that I think can take a little bit more rocky of a mix, and then I have a few that I want to have in a like denser mix. And by denser, I just mean like more tree fern heavy, less large perlite heavy. I'm also trying something new with my plants too, with my Anthurium, where I'm gonna try to do cocoa-less mixes. I have my computer open here because I want to see the questions that people asked from a few weeks ago. The first question, and that'll probably be this first section, I'll probably talk about this for the entirety of this first section as I'm mixing up the substrate. I'll put it on the screen. It's, how has the YouTube plant community and platform impacted your life? What do you appreciate most about it, and what do you like least about it? And then I'll break up the second half of their question because the next half I think is a little bit separate. So honestly and truly, when I first read the question, I was like, oh, how has the platform impacted my life? Let me just put the tree fern in here real quick before I answer. Okay, so I have these 2 kind of mixed up. I didn't realize just how much dust was gonna come out that bag from the tree fern, but yeah, this is just straight tree fern in both of these. So I am about to put some perlite in here real quick. To answer the question while I start mixing this up, the YouTube plant community has impacted me, I think, in terms of like just even my awareness of what kinds of plants you can have. And like, I think when I first got into plants, I definitely didn't get into plants on account of like I went to the store and then there were Anthurium there or something like that. Okay, so these twigs, I never know what to do with them. I see people breaking them up, but these just feel impossible. So I'm gonna just put these to the side. Oh, I had a little bucket. I said a bucket. I always have a bin that I use to catch random debris or like a garbage something. I'm gonna use that bin for today. Like, one of the major things is like expanding the kinds of plants that I thought I could even have. That's one of the things that ways that the YouTube plant community has impacted me. Sometimes the thing that I like the least about the YouTube plant community is that people think that there's only one right way. There we go. That's the thing I dislike the most about like the YouTube plant space, but that's like a lot. That's not just even YouTube specific. But basically what I'm trying to say is there's more than one way to do stuff. So specifically with like plants, like if you think like people planting their stuff in no drainage, I just don't like that some things are so deeply controversial. Why can't somebody just do things the way they want to do it? And if it's working for them, then great. You don't have to do it that exact same way. So for example, I don't like that it's not like often encouraged for you to just try things yourself and see what works for you, bro. So like honestly, I'm trying some of these plants, and like of course plants that I value a little bit more without the cocoa products in it, right? That doesn't mean that I'm gonna say like cocoa products are horrible, don't recommend it for any plant whatsoever. But specifically, I'm noticing some weird stuff with Anthurium, and I'm seeing some people telling me to try some things out. So that's what I'm gonna do here right now. So I'm gonna test it out. But I do have a plant that is potted, and it's my crystallinum has cocoa products in it. This is my crystal, and that's the leaf that I grew. And while I could say that it's just moisture that made it look like this, I like had that crispy edge. I'm noticing a similar crisping thing happening on this other leaf, and I don't think that I let this plant dry out at any point. So now I'm on the point where I'm moving on to the cocoa thing, because I've already been ensuring that this plant has been getting enough CalMag. So I feel like sometimes it's not like people aren't, I don't know if they don't have the courage or they're not encouraged. I don't know. That's the thing I just don't like, is that within the plant community, sometimes like people will say like, oh, I'm gonna try this thing. They're like, well, this one person who grows plants really well does it this way, and that's the only way that you can do it. And I just feel like that is wrong, you know? So yeah. Anywho, that's a thing that I don't necessarily love about the plant community, but I love a lot of other things. For example, for the most part, people are very, very kind in this hobby, and I really love to see that. I love to see and engage with a ton of people who are like, who have similar interests and genuinely just want to assist. Like I have joined a couple of like random like discords or whatever, from like certain sellers have discords, etc., and they're just so helpful and kind. Yeah, so things that I really like is the community building. Being in that discord is so helpful for me, because honestly and truly sometimes I do not know what I am doing, especially when it comes to like Anthurium, right? I have no clue what I'm doing. I literally am just going off vibes. Sorry about all this noise. I'm just going off vibes and just, you know, doing me for the most part. And it can be sometimes daunting, because I think so many people are doing like their plant hobby with Anthurium very differently. There are some people that are like pH testing, doing all this, that, and the, you know what I mean? And then there are some people who are just kind of like, oh, this thing works for me and that's what I'm doing. I don't know if I ever want to be the pH testing person, so I'm not gonna do that. But I do appreciate that like there are so many groups and spaces that you can go to, ask questions, and people will help you. Yeah, I really like that. I think another way that it's obviously impacted me is this community here, like being able to build my own platform. And I don't even know if it's a platform, but I feel like it's a community more so that I'm able to build while documenting my own plant journey and like how I'm growing, etc. It's been very helpful. I'm doing this more so because I really wanted to be able to share my plants in my actual life. I don't have a lot of people in my life that are deeply interested in houseplants. Like my grandmother gardens, so I can talk to her about like gardening plants, but outside of that, like once we get to the indoor plants, she's like, girl, I can't help you. In fact, you help me. So it's really cool and fun to be able to talk with people that, you know, like that have the same interests, that understand why I got 17 million grow lights going in my house right now, as well. So I don't know if I could have just used the same mix, because now that I'm using I'm using Orchiata now, because I thought I would try it out after my bark my bark finished, so I wanted to try Orchiata because I realized that the price actually wasn't all that bad. And I just wanted to try it one time for the one time, see if it was really giving. Their pieces are so much smaller, like much small. Like I don't know if I ordered a specific grade that's making it, but it's real small. Now I understand how people were saying they were adding Orchiata to pond to make it have more what they call it, organic media. Now I get that. At first I was like, you put them giant pieces of bark, but they're not that big, they're very small. But yeah, this one I'm gonna make sure that there's enough perlite, because this is the mix that's gonna be for ones that are much bigger. I will say with mixing like tree fern and all these things, you do have to be really thorough, because you'll have a section that has none of the amendments in it at all. So yeah, I guess those are the ways that the YouTube plant community impacted me. Is one, I've been able to build my own small community. Two, I've been able to reach and like get into community and other smaller pockets on the internet. And then also like made aware of like places in person in real life that I can tap into for like hobby wise, that will hopefully transition into like actual real life friends. And then even this platform, I think, has allowed me to meet people and like chat with people that are starting to become like, you know, friends of mine. So that's pretty cool and pretty exciting. The next question that this person asked was, what keeps you motivated in the hobby? Honestly and truly, I think maybe I have shared, maybe I haven't, but I got into plants heavily. So I started getting into plants like more than just like having 2 or 3 house plants. And yo, this tree fern is making like the dust. I had to like get up and sweep the first time. Yes, summer 2023 is when I really was like having a good time. I had moved over here. My daughter was young. I was going back to work, and I started getting houseplants. That's when I got that fiddle leaf fig that I so sadly unalived. Poor plant. I could not. I don't know that I was not in a space to be caring for that plant yet. So you know, honestly, that poor plant. My bad, y'all. I just got so focused. Okay, so this is mix 2, which honestly and truly, as I'm looking between mix 1 and mix 2, it doesn't look that different. I think mix 1 has way more small perlite and less large perlite. I don't know. I don't know. Either way, I'm gonna use mix 1 on the smaller plants. I'm trying to keep all the little dirt mess away. Okay, it's all right. There are brooms and vacuums. So I'm gonna start off with I might as well start off with the crystal pap. So this is my problem though. Y'all are so far. Okay, hopefully that angle is better. But this is the crystal pap that I'm going to repot. I wanna make sure I keep the tag. I don't wanna pull too hard. Here we go. I don't think I need to. So this is what the roots are looking like actually. Let me show you those. And the reason I think it's ready for an up pot, can't even really fully tell you. I'm wondering if I should go into this cup because I actually had it slated to go into this. Let me like look at the roots for a second and really talk to okay, no, I think I'm good. I'm gonna put it into this, I believe it's a 5-inch pot, which might be quite the jump, but I'm trusting the process. I am also, if I run out of leca, I might do perlite layers at the bottom. Like, I think it's all the same, leca layer, perlite layer, whatever. At this point, because I don't want to actually rinse more leca right now, so I'm not going to. Like, this is all over the place. But I was basically naming that I got into plants specifically during a pretty, you know, for lack of a better word, rough time in my life. So I think what keeps me motivated is plants basically were it was like my safe space and a thing for myself to have and hold during a time that was less than ideal in life. And then also they've given me something to have that is just for me as a mom. I think I see a lot of people who like were into plants before motherhood, so like I guess they feel a little bit differently about it post motherhood. I got into plants and I had already been a mom for years by the time I got into plants, and I think it has just given me something to hold on to that is just for me, which I think is really important. As a mom, as a person in general, it's good to have stuff that is literally just for you. I think that this plant, what I'm doing here is kind of wild because actually it needs more. It's not planted, in my opinion, deep enough. I'm crying, but this is gonna be take 2 of the same repot. But yeah, I got into plants at a dark time for me. I think what motivates me to maintain this hobby is knowing the way that it helped me out when I was in a rough time, and like knowing that it allows me to have space to take care of me. I know that we're technically taking care of something else, so I'm sorry, I'm just taking off all the substrate from these roots here, just loosening it a bit, not all of it, not completely, but just kind of making it loose so that it will be easier to maneuver into the pot and kind of manipulate it to be a little bit deeper. And then I'm also going to take off some of these smaller leaves because they're just, all that's going to happen is they'll just be buried underneath. anyway. So now that I did that, I'll be able to like squish it, see, like to squish it in. Oh, not me showing y'all, but y'all can't see. Now that I did that, I'll be able to squish it in a little bit lower. I actually think I need to adjust the camera angle. This might be too low. Okay, cool. So what I was saying is now that I did that, I'll be able to squish it in a little bit more so that the stem is like as submerged as it can be into the new pot. Anywho, so that's what keeps me motivated, is just knowing that I will have something for me, and then knowing that I need to also be able to foster enjoyment and joy for myself in this current timing, in this climate. I think it can be really easy to decide that you can't actually have anything that sparks joy, but you cannot pour from an empty cup. And on a superficial level, something that keeps me motivated is these things be growing. Like, don't y'all like when they just be growing and you see them growing in your house and they're looking good? Yeah, it's a little bit wobbly in the pot, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna get a little bit more secure and stuck in once I water it. But yeah, this is what she's looking like now. Okay, the next question is, do I have a pest prevention setup for my plants? If so, what do I do? Also, shout out to you. Shout out to my girl, Jessica. You know, I love seeing Jessica in the comments. Jessica's a real one. Every time I do these repots on the floor, I'm getting wilder and wilder with my approach. And I just have to name that. It's just laziness that's making it so that I don't get up and go get my repotting mat. But in my head, I'm like, I got a broom, you know, I got a broom and I got all the things to clean it up. It'll be all right. Okay, this next one might be a little bit more involved because I do want to take all the cocoa off, and this one is heavily rooted. But let's go ahead and talk pest prevention setups. Oh, I lost no roots. I love that for me. I love that for me. So pest prevention setups. So when I first get plants, right? When I was first getting them, especially if they were from Gabriella plants, I was not even, there was no real, you know, there was no real thing that I was doing. I wasn't, that's a lie. So I didn't have like a bin, but I did have like an area or something that I would put my plants in, and I also spray every plant down. You come to my house, you get it sprayed down. You on a weekly spray situation. Then that was in the beginning, when the beginning of like my heavy on the collection era period. Sorry, I'm just trying to remove as much of the cocoa stuff because I know that I have like cocoa chunks in this mix. I might or I might not do the same for the crystallinum. We'll really see. We'll really see. We'll see how I'm feeling. But for this one, I want to give it a good cleaning off. So in the beginning, I wasn't necessarily, and look at the roots on this. It's looking good. Just to clarify this, I'm gonna be talking more and repotting, but not necessarily like showing every single plant. I showed y'all what I'm doing. I'll show y'all the before and afters because it's kind of hard to ride and whistle, and you know, anyway, y'all know how to repot plants. But that said, I used to not have like a bin that I had, but then I transitioned over from doing that to putting plants that I first got into a bin after spraying them and spraying them for a week and then bringing them out. The larger my collection got, the less it was easy for me to fully quarantine or isolate. So I used to have like a little corner that I would isolate in, but then after thinking hard, I said, that don't even make sense. So now, not my white socks they're getting cooked. RIP to my white socks right now. I gotta stretch my leg out, y'all. This one, I think has enough roots to go into this pot, so that's what it's gonna do. It's also gonna come into ambient life. I'm gonna reuse this mix. I should probably take these little things out. I'm going to, cause it's got tree fern in it, no shade, I'm gonna put this in the oven, this right here. So I might even need another something. I don't know, I'm gonna collect the little debris of the tree fern and whatever cocoa, and I'm gonna put it in the oven and keep it because tree fern is expensive, bro. Like, you can't just be throwing that out. Anywho, yeah, so what I was saying is I used to have a little corner and I would keep them in the corner and spray them down to prevent them from spreading pests. I don't know what I thought I was doing because obviously like the bugs can just move. I luckily have not had any like major outbreak with any like pests or anything like that. So that's really good. Love that deeply for your girl. I have not had any situation like that. However, I have since when I got into collecting Hoyas more, I started getting afraid of mealybugs. So I did start running a isolation bin. So most of the plants that I ordered, I would put them into a bin. Keeping it a bean with you, that don't really work when you order plants from places like Gabriella Plants. 1 second, let me pour this, make this like a layer. Yeah, like I was saying, that don't really work when you order plants from a place like Gabriella Plants per se, because they give you like, they're giving you a decently sized plant when you order. So, you know, it's all fun. It can all be fun in games and whatnot, but there isn't like bins that are, there aren't bins that are super, super huge. So I did start getting like, I used to use these size bins and isolate taller plants in them. Now my current setup is still a bin, but I also order much smaller plants now. So for example, with my new plants that I'm acquiring, I think for bigger plants, when you're getting a bigger plant, there's no way for you to put it in a bin. So you do have to just put it, like I just treat it as if it has pests. So for the first like month that it comes home, it's getting treated with systemic, and then after that, like first I'll sprinkle, if I don't see spider mites, I might sprinkle granules on it, and then also spray the leaves with spinosad, because both, like you'll be getting thrips in the cycle and then also spider mites. I am trying to toy with what it looks like to do spinosad drenches instead of using imidacloprid or the systemic granules for newer plants, just because I don't want it to be that the one time that I tried to prevent pests, now I done gave the spider mites, you know, something to really feel. So I do try to check on that, but I will say at the very least, something that I do is I spray all new plants for like the first 2 months that they're in my house every week. There is no negotiation on that. They are getting sprayed every single week as if they are fully in a pest breakout. Now for Anthurium that I'm getting, so that I can prevent that, because a lot of them are velvet leaf, as you can see, I don't want to be spraying them every single week. I feel like that is overkill. So I am isolating all new Anthuriums into a bin. Typically, Anthuriums are coming like this. You could literally have, like, jokes aside, literally 20 of these in a bin at a time. Now, I wouldn't suggest having 20 plants from different time frames in a bin. So trying to limit, I'm trying to limit your ordering. Saying that from someone like myself, saying that's crazy. But anyway, I have multiple greenhouse setups too. So I have like multiple Acrobar greenhouse setups. I have 2 of them. And I have like plants from the Green Escape in one, and then plants from that I had ordered from Jacqueline's Jungle way back in another. And then in another bin, I have like, that's like my phyto rot bin. So I try to acclimate my plants or bring them in separate areas that are sealed, especially if they are small. That way I can monitor the situation. I'm going to say though, like I just mentioned, larger plants, it's very hard to do that. Oh, let me show you. So this is this one all completed. It looks funny because the pot kind of seems a little bit big, but I'm pretty sure she's going to love her life and stay more moist, and the next leaf will be bigger, because that was another thing. This one was really root bound, and this leaf is not much bigger than this leaf right here, and I do want to see a little bit of a size jump with this plant as well. I'm really enjoying it though. It's very, very cute. And then the sinus of the newest one, the like top has stayed a little bit pink. I don't think it's gonna pick it up, and I'm really far away, so it stayed a little teeny bit pink in the center there, so that's really cute. So that's 2 plants done, and we have been going for an hour. Love to see that for me. What do I want to do next? Oh, might as well, since I'm getting rid of substrate. So this is the Forgetii that I got. These leaves are pretty long. I did water this recently. I'm taking off all of this mix. Now, from where I ordered from, they do say, don't do this for X amount of time. See? Look at it. It got one of them little plugs, which I know I understand what that be about, but I don't really like it, so I'm removing it. I don't want to keep it. We are going to cause damage. I think this plant is going to crash out on me, truth be told, but it is what it is. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing for pest prevention. I feel like that was an all over the place answer, but to kind of bring it all the way back together, I essentially am keeping plants that are small enough to be kept in bins and Acrobar cabinets in the bins and in the Acrobar cabinets. The ones that are not small enough, they must be on a rotation, and I try to keep them in a corner that is not like touching the leaves of plants that I truly love and admire. So that might mean like I wouldn't put it next to all of my moss pole plants, because I just can't imagine an outbreak on my moss pole plants. I just can't imagine. Like, that's gonna be so much work, because you gotta treat the moss, you gotta treat the, oh my god, that would be so much work. It's already a mess when you have like fungus gnats on like moss poles, you know, because you have to actually water the moss pole with BTI as well. And that is, baby, trust me. Trust me. I think I should have had some water nearby to rinse these roots. But then again, I don't know how deep that is, so I might not even do that. Oh, and I just pulled off a whole root trying to get that last piece of the thing off. So these roots don't look too bad. These look okay. I am gonna put it into this here with a leca layer. This is just like a parfait cup. I got this idea from Charmaine and Alice, so yeah. And the leca layer thing, I'm doing it because I just know that I have a propensity to let my stuff dry out, and or at least let like anthuriums dry out, because I water once a week and sometimes I might not have the ability to check in on it before it's too late. So I think being able to do the leca layer and sitting it into some water will be most helpful for the little guys. Let me go see what the next question was. Okay, so did I even finish out? Yeah, so bins, spray. That's what I do with the pest prevention setup. And then also, oh, I guess I should also, before I even move on, because not me saying, let me look at the next question. I will also say, in general, I am so afraid of bugs. I don't like bugs. Seeing even like, what you call those things? That they're not even predatory mites. I can't do that. Whenever I see people getting the bugs for their house and all that, I'm like, wow, good for you. I can't do that. That's just not very me. I'm afraid. So yeah, I don't do bugs. I am afraid of them. I am unashamed to say that I'm afraid of them as well. And then, so because of that, I have to spray my plants regularly. I have a routine when it comes to spraying my plants. I am dead serious. I know every 2 weeks might seem like a lot to some people. It is not a lot to me. I spray my plants every 2 weeks. Every plant is getting sprayed every 2 weeks. Like, this is really and truly not, you know how they say, this is not a game. This is really not a game. I also wanted to show y'all this up close because when I got it, the leaf melted as well upon opening it. And that's kind of annoying, but I don't even think that thing focused. But I just want y'all to know the leaf melted. That has nothing to do with me and my care. It just did that. But I got these cups and they're gonna sit inside of a situation like this, and these will also more than likely remain in my prop bin. I actually, oh my god, fun fact, I actually did just get a couple of cabinets. I know I always said that I would not do that, but your girl wanted to try something out. I thought it would look nice. Next thing is somebody, Jessica also asked if I have given a houseplant tour or a setup of my space. I have never done that. I have never done that. I actually, and you know what? the crazy part is I was thinking about doing it because I'm changing stuff up with my space right now. So I wanted to do it after I finished changing everything up because I'm essentially in a period where I want to optimize my space. This is a very sad looking silver blush. Poor babe, she is just thirsty, honestly. She'll be just fine once I give her water. Let me make sure her roots don't look deflated. Are they deflated and rotted? Because that would really suck. I do want to do a tour, and I'm probably going to do one by the end of this month because I wanted to finish setting up the, I got the cabinets or whatever, and I wanted to set them up. And it's not that I'm waiting for it to look aesthetically pleasing, but it's just that it wasn't optimized yet for myself with the Anthurium I got. And I just wanted it to be one that I could see, like, this is the long-term setup. But I can just tell y'all a little bit more about how my space is set up right now. So my attic is also my bedroom. So it's literally damn near the length of the house. So it's huge. So we have like a corner in the room that I essentially am using as like my little plant nook, right? So in this nook, I have 1, 2, 3 different shelves, and then 2 plant stands that kind of like one holding all my begonias and then one holding like an array of plants. And it's like a U-shaped corner of the room with a window, and that's like my little plant corner. Also has my dresser in it, Then in the center of the room, it's more just like a bedroom, right? And in that area, I'm planning to put 2 different like redstone cabinets there on my side of the bedroom. I also will say, I know that like in naming this could sound crazy, but I have my boyfriend does not care what I am doing, and I also obviously check, so I didn't just like go hard on the. He loves to see it, basically. If I like it, then he loves it, is where we're at. So I do just want to put that disclaimer out there. But we're all plant people here, one can hope. So, and then I have my office is also in this room. Well, in the attic, so there's a separate room. Like there should be a door, but the door is off of it, but there's like a doorway. And I might put like a little curtain up there just to keep those plants like happiest. Also, I said in my winter prep video that I didn't want to run humidifiers, and then the humidity one day dropped to 30%. So I turned them things on. I'm not even gonna hold you. I clean them out, I turn them on. It just is what it is. We just got to be real about that. That just is what it is. I don't really want to do it, and if y'all have things that make you stay more on top of your humidifiers, let me know, because that's the thing that I don't enjoy, is how on top of it you really have to be. Anywho, now I'm kind of sad that I just did that sponge beast in there. Should have done that elsewhere. Let me pick out all the spongy bits, because that can't be really used in the substrate if I want to reuse it, and I do want to reuse it. That said, I do have my plants in my office too. So I have an office space, I have my desk, etc., like where I actually work. So I work from home for the most part. So I have an office with my computer, my desk, all that. And then in there, I also have, that's where my acre bar setups are. There are no plants that are directly, like obviously the space is technically the room, but there are no plants like next to the bed or anything like that. Yeah, I will be showing y'all that though. So yeah, I do want to do one of those, and I will show you all the lights and everything that I have, because I do have a lot of lights around me. You can literally see the stand of one of the lights right here. So there's that. Okay, let me just finish putting this one in here. I didn't even show y'all the roots of this one, but it's okay. It is okay. And this one, I'm not even putting it as high. Something is telling me not to, so I won't. And also just to say, I'm going to, whenever I repot any Anthurium, I also always water them in with Myco. Yeah, I'm really going hard with listening to the girls. My legs. Oh God. Getting old, I be having to stretch the legs out a little bit, y'all. But anywho, let's do the King of Spades. Oh, it has a new leaf coming out. I don't know what to do. It has a new leaf coming out. Let me see. I'm not me saying let me see, what am I gonna do? And then also all the dirt is all falling off. Yeah, so that wraps the last question. Is would I do a plant tour? Yes, and I will make sure that'll probably be like one of the last videos I post this month, because I just have to finish setting some things up. This feels way too big for that. So luckily I have these little cups, and whenever I do in these little cups, I don't always do a left layer. And I've heard that the King of Spades isn't quite the same as other ones. Even though I know that it's small, I'm going to just pot it directly into one of these small cups. It has holes in it, already soldered some holes. I didn't even bring y'all up on the roots. I'm so sorry, y'all. See, this is just a vibe. And prayers up, I didn't just mess stuff up, because they say don't repot it with the new leaf, but we here and we did it, so maybe it'll be stunted, maybe it won't be. Nobody can really know. Okay, cool. So that's the King of Spades, and that's great. I will say also, as a disclaimer, my space, it's not going to be like, I think I'm not like an interior designer, so my space is very much so not giving that when I show. Like there are certain areas that I would like to update in my plant space, but I have made updates to make it easier on the eye and less like sterile. There are two, like you can see behind me, the light looks really bright. I just recently got Vitjo stands instead, and I'm gonna be real with you, I should have gotten the warm Barina lights for everything. I think I got the bright Barina lights, and those are just really not good on my eyes. I don't like them, but we'll move on from that at a later date. The next question is from, shout out to Erica. Erica wants to hear the story of the great light shortage. So I just said that I got, oh, you know what? Look at me messing things, trying to set my life up in a direction that it does not need to be. This story isn't even all that great, and I'm kind of embarrassed to even tell the story. Imagine that. So let me explain what happened. How did I short the lights out? So I actually, okay, I'm sorry, I'm trying to loosen this up a little bit because I want to take off there's a lot of core in here actually. I want to take out the coconut and see if that's going to make a difference for this here crystal to put out like a nice perfect leaf. Mind you, it's growing in ambient, so I might just be having high expectations where the expectations should not be this high, but that just is what it is. And then also this plant has recently been watered, so it is a little bit muddy, and I want to not break off all the roots. So I used to have the other two shelves behind me that were a little bit smaller, and I felt like I had too many too many things plugged into like outlets, right? So I wanted to connect the lights because they could be daisy chained together. So I'm on the phone, and this is me doing this in preparation for me going away. So I was really just like, okay, I just need to get these lights connected so that I can minimize the number of things I have plugged in, and then get everything, there's dirt flying everywhere, and then get everything plugged into a smart plug, right? Simple. Sounds very simple, nothing crazy. Doesn't sound like I'm trying to do anything difficult. How did the lights short? I made a very serious, like a firefighter would be so ashamed of me. I literally forgot that, I don't even know how. I was moving too fast, and I'm on the phone and multitasking, and I was supposed to plug the lights out. Why did I try to connect like the lights are plugged in, the lights are on, bro. And I'm like, let me go ahead and disconnect it, and yeah, let me do whatever, blah, blah. Child, the lights were plugged into two different power sources. I didn't plug near now one of them lights out from their two separate power sources. So of course, when I disconnected one side of the lights, because I was working from the bottom up, so I'm at the bottom shelves trying to connect the two lights that are on two separate bottom shelves together. And of course, absolutely, of course, I go to connect it, sparks fly, bro. Smoke erupts, sparks fly. Like the lights turned, only those lights turned off, not like the lights in my whole house. Like I didn't actually do anything to the system. It really was just those lights. So the sparks did not fly from the outlet, they flew from the cord themselves. And I just said to myself, you know what, self? Good for you. Good for you. I panicked too. So it happened, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to set this house on fire. Holy crap, what did I just do? Oh my God, right? It probably wasn't, it was deep because the lights stopped working, right? Like the lights that I used to have, I shorted them out and they stopped working, and there was smoke all up in through the air. You could literally smell it. Like it smelled like something had got fried, and the sparks flew up. I could have literally been electrocuted or burnt. Nothing happened to me, luckily, but it could have, it could have. I think what I'm doing here is so crazy. This whole untangling of these roots is really wild, but I'm really just trying to remove the cocoa from it to see if that will have an impact. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. These roots are really good though. Look at these roots. Bruh, I'm playing musical leg stretch. I didn't know that crystallinum roots were that, that thick. So here I am, and I'm realizing that this is too small. So I'm gonna go get a bigger pot for it. 1 second. I'm back. I got a bigger pot. I think this should go into something of this size. Okay, I have put in my leca layer. I'm actually gonna use not me mixing stuff up. I'm gonna use some of the rest of this mix that is a little bit more dense because these roots are a little bit more on the fine side. So I'm gonna use that. But yeah, so basically I tried to daisy chain the freaking lights together and sparks flew, sparks erupted. And this is before I was gonna go visit my friend. So I was setting up, I wanted my space to be set up so that it was easier for my boyfriend to not have to do too much and be too involved with my plants while I was gone, and I wanted to come back to a plant collection that was alive. So I was trying to set the situation up right for myself. Obviously, child, you know, mistakes were made. Games were played, mistakes were made, things happened. Here is the crystallinum, all done up in a nice big pot. So yeah, that's the story of the great light shortage. Sorry, you also asked, she was like, what kind of lights? The plant stands came with their own lights, so it was really just some random plant stand lights from some random plant stand company. Everything was real random. I don't know what this is even potted into. I don't know what is making me, but I'm just gonna take it off. Why not? What's the next question? This question, shout out to my good sister from Tiara, is there a specific, do I have a specific pure Anthurium, a specific hybrid or pure Anthurium that I like more? After a while, they all look the same to me. Okay, yeah, I've said the same thing, that like after a certain period, they do all look the same. I'm never gonna be one of those people that's like, there's no time. Like, there are slight differences that I will say that I notice, right, when they're older, but I do think some of them can have the same general characteristics. But it's kind of like Hoyas, right? to me, right? I think a lot of people would be like, a lot of Hoyas look the same. I actually always think people are losing their minds when they say that. I'm gonna grab actually a handful of perlite. I did just raw dog it because I do want to kind of add a little bit more to this mix here. I think it was missing a little bit more perlite. Anyway, now that I've done that, let's put a nice layer at the bottom. These roots are thick though. These ones are kind of like the Clarinervium roots, just very thick. And also it was starting to come a little high out of the pot. So I think doing this will be very helpful. Yeah, my favorite, I guess, species right now, I love to look at Carlas. Carlas are so nice to me. I don't know if I really like Anthulaki, formerly known as Beveps. I don't know how much I love those per se, but I like a dark leaf. I think a Carla has like all of the features that I have found myself really liking in Anthurium. Well, most of the features. So I like Carlas. I love Luxurians, but for me right now, the Lux hybrids are not. They're so hard for me. I don't know why. They are my hardest ones. Here's the Luxurians. The Radicans crossed with Luxurians is all set into this pot here. I didn't even finish answering. Let me bring the camera up. I'm gonna actually mix some water for these, and then I'll just water them in while I finish talking about like favorite Anthurium hybrids and all that good stuff. Okay, so I'm back. This is just my 5-gallon water. I have my handy dandy watering can. I have Great White, which I don't know, I just measure with my heart at this point. I literally just do a couple like taps and then mix that up, because when I've seen people do it, the water is usually brown. They're Great White water. And then I'm just gonna pour this on. I'm going to mute this and jump because this thing is a little touch loud. Okay, so I filled my watering can. I am going to just answer the question though real quick. So I said I really like Carlas and I like Carla hybrids. Something that I realized that I enjoy, that like, I love a crystallinum. So I love the crystallinum, the crystal mag. I like this kind of Venetian. As I'm like growing them more, I'm realizing I really do like that. And then I also really love the papillomaminum hybrids as well. I think that those, no shade for me, I think that the pap hybrids at some point, some of them can start to look very, not pap hybrids, but like paps in general, because there's so many different kinds. Some of them look a little bit the same, and I think I have to get a little bit more into the weeds to understand the differences between them. But some of them will start to look very, very similar to me, and I don't necessarily always notice the big difference between all of the paps in general. I also like darker leaves on plants in general. So on anthuriums, the reason I like the Carla is because it's dark. I also really love the round, like that's like a trait that I really enjoy in anthurium too. Some anthuriums are like round leaves. So I love like a chubby leaf, like the King of Spades tends to have like a more round, like chunky looking leaf, as well as like a Doriaki or also like a silver blush. I love that vibe in anthurium. I do think that of course they can look alike when you're like, especially when you're, it's kind of like Hoyo, especially when you're not fully in it. They can look alike, but there are some differences between them. So of course, once you start getting into certain hybrids, like I feel like certain hybrids can start to look the same, but it all depends. And especially when you're looking at seedlings, if you're looking at seedling sizes, they're also gonna look the same. You do have to wait, because for me, for example, this crystal pap and then this like crystallinum, they don't look the same, right? Like let me show a non-emergent leaf. Okay, so these are two of the second oldest leaves. They look really different. Like one has stronger veination, one has more muted veination, is a little bit darker on the leaf as well. They have a similar leaf shape, which I think obviously comes from the crystal, but I think that they're kind of different. Even like this no ID, the veins I would say are like, one is way more like neat. There's more crisp veining on the crystallinum leaf if you look here, versus like the no ID leaf. When you look here, it's more like it kind of like spreads out. It's a little bit, chunkier. This one I also think has like, in the emergent, this doesn't have like as much pink in the veining. Like even the petioles in general, like the petiole, when this one of this no ID comes out, a lot more pink, which I really like. Those are also things that shift. So if you look at this one, like look how pink the sinus and everything is. I think when you start looking at all of those little differences, that's when I feel like it gets more complicated. But I think my favorite overall, I love Carla's, and I do love the King of Spades too. So I'm just watering, I'm watering the, what is this? The silver blush. I do have my bucket, because if I see spots that aren't fully moist, I just go ahead and then water it back over the bucket for something like this, and then catch the off fall. I mean, I could just let it soak it up, but I want it to have access to consistent water. So first I want it to be watered in nicely. Ooh, this leaf is papery. Oh my God, this leaf is papery. Yeah, I think that can, of course, be corrected like by just letting it sit in water. But I like to make sure that the entire thing is nicely hydrated before I let it be. And again, this is being watered with like micro water. And because it's gonna be sitting here, I'm gonna allow whatever excess to drain off into this and let it sit in that, because there's a leca layer, so it should be fine. This one, we a little bit scared. This leaf is floppy. I can't even, whoa, oh my God. So yeah, that is what this is looking like. And it's so floppy. Oh my God, guys. Here's what it's looking like. I really hope that it makes it. The rest of the leaves I think will rehydrate like the older ones. I don't know about this current emergent leaf, but a girl can hope. I'm gonna leave this in like this little like centimeter of water. I'm gonna let it go back into the bin under a good amount of light, and fingers crossed she looks better probably by tomorrow. Okay, this next one is just that I'm watering is just the crystal pap. Yeah. There was another question I wanted to answer. Okay, so the next one was, what am I thinking about doing for my birthday? I am going to hang out with my mom and my aunt. that's the game plan. Honestly, I'm gonna get dinner and maybe do karaoke, and yeah, that's really that. I wonder if this could fit this one here. Let me see. Okay, yeah, I think I could leave this in this just so that it can drain properly. I think I should get another one. Okay, also this took so much longer than I planned for it to take, so there's that. Honestly, like anytime I'm doing like a repotting chat, I need to tell myself like 5 plants is actually enough. 5 plants is more than enough for the speed with which I talk and how I get distracted and all that. I do not need to be doing freaking more than 5. What was the next question? Oh, what was my very first plant that turned me into a collector or hobbyist, and do I still have it? Yes, it was my philodendron. Okay, wait. The first plant that made me want to be a hobbyist is definitely my philodendron red Congo. This is not my first plant, but it's the first one that maybe made me like, you know, I got a little bit. Anyway, it was my philodendron red Congo. I still have it. It is a large plant. Actually, that and the Stromanthe Triostar were the ones that really got me deeply into it. Oh my God, I'm actually answering. I got these 3 at the same time. So I got a philodendron red Congo, Stromanthe Triostar, and then a alocasia pink dragon, all from Trader Joe's, all at the same time. Those were the ones that really turned me into a collector slash hobbyist, and I have 2 out of 3 still. One, the pink dragon, I had to revive it from corn. That just is what it is. The red Congo, my bad, y'all. If the sound of water running bothers you, then deep apologies. I'm just trying to make sure, because you really do want to make sure that all of the substrate is saturated. Okay, and then the final question from Tiara was, what are your thoughts on the monkey tail fern? I don't even know what that is. I know the monkey tail cactus. What is a monkey tail fern? I'm gonna look that up real quick. Now, child. Why does it, no. What is a monkey tail fern? If this is the plant that you, if it's the plant that you're talking about, then child, I don't like that. Oh my God, why is it rolled up? It's very weird. Okay, so I'm not a fan of weird plants, but you know what? I think I might have said this, I don't know what video this was, but I used to have, what you call it? It was the bird's nest fern. And listen to me, hear me out when I say this, y'all. That freaking, the roots on that fern were so weird looking to me. I could not, I truly couldn't. The roots on it were so furry, and they kind of look like, they have the same texture as what I'm seeing on this monkey tail fern. Like, it's like curled up. I mean, I like a weird plant, but I just don't like what this looks like. It look like tentacles. It look like hairy tentacles. And yeah, my thoughts are no. But if you like it, please do get it. Just, I don't know if I could like it for my house per se, but yeah, let me go ahead and close this video out because I've been here recording for 2 hours at this point. So with that being said, thank you all so much for staying with me and hanging out with me for this long video. This is much longer than I planned for, but all that being said, I had fun answering some of those questions and just having something to yap about. With all of that being said, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. In the next one, I'm thinking about potentially putting together a Rudsta. I do have 2, so I'm about to go get my son and put one together now. But if y'all would be interested in seeing that, let me know. If not, it don't even gotta be all that. But with all that being said, thanks again for hanging out. My next video more than likely will be like a birthday something. I don't know. It'll be something on Wednesday. I have no clue, child. All that being said, see y'all in the next one. Bye.